Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that will make you question everything. Story 1. My girlfriend left me over a fart. So my girlfriend just broke up with me because I left our bed while she was crying. I know that sounds terrible, but let me explain what actually happened because this whole situation is honestly bizarre. My girlfriend has been having the worst week imaginable. First, our cat died last week and she was absolutely devastated. This cat meant everything to her. Then she got demoted at work in front of everyone, which was completely humiliating. After that, she had this massive fight with her best friend and now they're not even speaking. Then she got into a car accident. She's fine physically, but her car that she absolutely loves is totaled. And to top it all off, her parents just told her they're getting divorced and one of them is moving across the country. I mean, when it rains it pours, right? So I've been trying my best to be supportive through all of this chaos. I've been bringing her food, listening to her vent, giving her space when she needs it, just trying to be there however I can. The other night she was having a particularly rough evening and asked if we could just go to bed early and cuddle. Of course I said yes. We're lying there and she's telling me about her day and getting emotional again. I'm holding her and trying to comfort her when suddenly I feel this massive fart building up. And I mean massive. Like the kind where you know it's going to be loud and probably smell terrible. I'm trying to hold it in but it's getting painful. I'm clenching everything I can clench but this thing wants out. I'm starting to sweat from the effort of keeping it contained. Now I'm faced with this impossible choice. Do I let it rip while my girlfriend is having this vulnerable emotional moment? That seems incredibly insensitive and inappropriate. Or do I excuse myself for literally 30 seconds to go release this gas bomb in privacy? I chose option 2. I whispered that I'd be right back and started to get up. She immediately got upset and asked where I was going. I said I just needed to step out for 1 second and I'd come right back. She started crying harder and said I was abandoning her when she needed me most. I tried to explain that I really would be back in 30 seconds but she wouldn't hear it. I was stuck. The pressure is building and I'm genuinely worried I might explode. So I made what I thought was the compassionate choice and went to the bathroom. When I came back literally 1 minute later, she was furious. She said I proved that I don't care about her feelings and that I can't be there for her during hard times. She said any decent boyfriend would have stayed no matter what. I tried to explain my reasoning but she said there's no excuse for leaving someone when they're vulnerable. The next morning she said she needed space and now she's saying we should break out because I'm not emotionally available. I feel like I'm going crazy here. I was trying to be considerate by not subjecting her to biological functions during an emotional moment. But apparently that makes me the worst boyfriend ever. Am I completely wrong here or is this situation as insane as it seems to me? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I'm disabled and my friends are policing my words. So I'm apparently ableist against myself and my friends want to have an intervention. This is genuinely one of the weirdest situations I've ever found myself in. I'm 21 and I've been in a wheelchair for about 7 years now. I have some medical conditions that aren't really relevant to the story but yeah, they suck and my life is pretty different because of them. The friends involved in this drama are all around my age and I met them shortly after I became fully dependent on my wheelchair back in late 2018. They've all been really cool about my disability from day one. They've never left me out of activities, they don't treat me like I'm fragile, and they don't do that weird thing where people talk to whoever's pushing my chair instead of talking directly to me. They're genuinely great friends, which is why this situation is so confusing. Here's where things get weird. Sometimes when I'm frustrated with my situation or having a bad day, I'll make jokes about myself or use words that I guess you could call slurs. Like if I'm struggling with something I might say something like, "God, I'm such a cripple today," or if my wheelchair is acting up I'll joke about being defective. It's just my way of coping with a pretty difficult situation, and honestly it helps me feel better about things I can't control. I've never thought twice about it because it's my life and my disability. But apparently my friends have been having secret conversations about this for months. Last week they sat me down for what I can only describe as an intervention. They told me that even though these are words about my own experience, I shouldn't use them because other people might hear me and think it's okay for them to use those words too. They said I'm perpetuating ableist language, and that I have a responsibility to the disabled community to speak more respectfully about disability. They've created this whole group chat without me where they've been discussing my language and planning how to approach me about it. One of them even said she's been cringing every time I make these jokes but didn't want to say anything because she wasn't sure if it was her place. Another friend said that hearing me talk about myself that way makes them uncomfortable because they care about me. I honestly don't know how to respond to this. On one hand, I understand they're coming from a place of caring and they're trying to be good allies or whatever. But on the other hand, these are literally words about my own experience with my own body. I'm not calling other people names or being cruel to anyone else. I'm just processing my own stuff in the way that works for me. The whole thing feels incredibly patronizing. Like they've decided they know better than I do about how I should talk about my own disability. They keep saying things like, impact matters more than intent, and sending me articles about ableist language. But I never intended to impact anyone, and I certainly wasn't trying to hurt other disabled people. I'm just trying to survive my own life with whatever coping mechanisms work for me. Now every time we hang out there's this weird tension where I feel like they're monitoring everything I say. I can't make jokes about my own situation without getting these looks or someone changing the subject really quickly. It's making me not want to spend time with them, which sucks because they really are good friends otherwise. Am I wrong to think this is completely overboard, or do they actually have a point here? Story 3. My sister wants me to house 8 people in my 2-bedroom. So my sister thinks I should fit 8 people into my 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm apparently the villain for saying no. Let me paint you a picture of just how ridiculous this situation is. I'm 29 and married with 2 kids who are 5 and 7. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment where my kids already share 1 bedroom and my wife and I have the other. It's cozy, but it works for our family. Now my sister is pregnant with her 5th child. Yes, 5th. She already has kids who are 12, 10, 8, and 2 years old. She asked me if I could take her 4 kids when she goes to deliver the baby and then keep them for the next day as well. I immediately knew this was going to be a problem. Where exactly does she think I'm going to put 4 additional children in my tiny apartment? I told her I really didn't think it would work out space-wise and suggested she ask our parents instead. They live about an hour and a half away, which isn't ideal, but they actually have the room for everyone. She completely lost it on me. She said I'm being selfish and unsupportive during one of the most important times in her life. She started crying and said she can't believe her own brother won't help her when she needs it most. She went on this whole rant about how family is supposed to be there for each other and how disappointed she is in me. Then she pulled out the guilt trips. She said the kids were so excited to stay with their uncle and cousins, and now she has to tell them they can't because uncle doesn't care about them. She said I'm teaching my own kids that family doesn't matter. She even said I'm being cruel to her unborn baby by making her stress during her pregnancy. But here's the thing, I'm not trying to be mean or unsupportive. I genuinely want to help her. The issue is purely practical. Let's do the math here. That would be 6 kids total plus 2 adults in a 2-bedroom apartment. My kids would have to share their room with her 12-year-old, 10-year-old, and 8-year-old. That's 5 kids in 1 bedroom. Then there's the 2-year-old who would need to be with the adults, so that's 3 people in our bedroom. Where is everyone supposed to sleep? On the floor? We don't have enough beds, we don't have enough bathrooms, we barely have enough space for everyone to exist in the same apartment at the same time. Not to mention my kids would be completely displaced from their normal routine and their own space. They've never had to share their room with anyone else, and suddenly they'd have 3 older kids taking over their territory. The 2-year-old would probably be crying and keeping everyone awake. It would be chaos for everyone involved. I tried explaining all of this to her, but she just kept saying I should figure it out because that's what family does. She said people make sacrifices for the people they love and that I'm clearly not willing to make any sacrifices for her. She's been calling our parents and other relatives to complain about how unsupportive I am. Now I'm getting calls from family members telling me I should just suck it up for a couple of days. They're saying I'm being dramatic about the space issue and that kids are resilient. My mom said I'm being selfish and that when she was young people always made room for family no matter what. But none of them are offering to take the kids themselves. They all have their own reasons why it won't work for them, but somehow I'm supposed to make the impossible work. Am I really being unreasonable here, or is my sister asking way too much? Story 4. My girlfriend dumped me over prom seating drama. So I just spent $400 on prom only to get completely screwed over by my girlfriend, and now we're broken up. This whole thing is honestly insane and I still can't believe how it went down. My girlfriend and I were super excited about prom. We'd been talking about it for weeks and planning everything out. The most important thing to both of us was that we wanted to sit together at dinner. I mean, that's like the whole point, right? You go to prom with your date so you can spend the evening together. Now her parents are pretty strict and don't usually let her get too intimate with me or anything like that, but she promised me a week before prom that we would definitely sit together. She was really clear about it and seemed as excited as I was. So I started working extra hours to earn the money for my ticket, which was $250. On top of that, I dropped another $100 on a suit and $50 more to get my hair done professionally. I'm not rich or anything, so $400 is a lot of money for me, but I figured it was worth it for this special night with my girlfriend. The day before we were supposed to pick our assigned seats, she reassured me again that we would sit together. She looked me in the eye and promised that nothing would change our plan. I went to bed that night feeling excited and confident that everything was set. Then the next day everything went to hell. When it was time to actually pick our seats, she suddenly tells me that she can't sit with me after all. Apparently her friends had been pressuring her to sit at their table instead. They told her it would be more fun to sit with the group and that she could always dance with me later. Just like that, all our plans were thrown out the window. I was completely shocked. This wasn't some small detail we were changing, this was literally the main thing we had planned for prom. I tried to explain to her how important this was to me and how much money I had spent based on our agreement. I told her that I worked all those extra hours specifically so we could have this experience together. But she just kept saying that her friends really wanted her to sit with them and that I was being selfish for not understanding. She said I should be happy that she has good friends who want to include her and that I was trying to control her social life. I wasn't trying to control anything, I was just expecting her to keep the promise she had made multiple times. When I pointed out that we had specifically planned this together, she said plans change and that I needed to be more flexible. She suggested that we could still take pictures together and dance together, so it shouldn't matter where we sit for dinner. But it did matter to me. The whole reason I was excited about prom was getting to spend that special evening with her, not watching her have fun with her friends from across the room. The worst part is that she made it seem like I was being unreasonable and possessive. She told her friends that I was trying to separate her from them and that I was being controlling about prom. So now they all think I'm some kind of toxic boyfriend when really I just wanted to sit with my girlfriend at an event I spent $400 to attend with her. We ended up having this huge fight about it, and she said that if I couldn't handle her having other important relationships then maybe we shouldn't be together. So now we're broken up and I'm out $400 for a prom I don't even want to go to anymore. Was I really being unreasonable here, or did she completely screw me over? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.